We're on. We're on. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Pig Awards here in the venerable Placeholder Theater. Sorry, I didn't know we were live just at that moment. Thank you, Gavin. So, I am your humble host, Mr. That Thom Clancy. Now, before we get into all the wonderful proceedings, I would just like to say thank you to everyone in chat, everyone who's hosting, every new follow, everybody who's talking, everyone who is here as a developer and as a supporter for all of the wonderful people who have taken part in #PitchYG Games Round 2. Now, today, we are going to honor some of the most inventive, beautiful, and unique games submitted by scores of lone developers and small teams from around the world. But before we get started in earnest, I want to take a moment to speak to every single developer that took part in the latest round of #PitchYG. No matter which teams I name today, you all have something to be proud of. There is a level of courage and tenacity that comes with making a game, especially as a small team. Maybe you're working on your project in your spare time, your sleep time, or maybe you've made the fateful leap into going full-time as a developer. That's a tough decision for anyone to make, and tougher still for those trying to make a name or a career in game development. Everyone who submitted a pitch this week deserves recognition and respect because you all did one of the bravest things imaginable by showing off your game in front of the world for everyone to see. So no matter who wins tonight, you all have the respect and admiration of myself and everyone else on TeamPYG. Without you, these awards quite simply wouldn't exist. It's that simple. Thank you for your creations, and thank you for sharing them with us. Now, before we go any further, I know I've said this a few times already, the founder of TeamPYG, Mr. Liam Toos, would like to say a few words.
From TeamPYG here. Firstly, thank you to each and every one of you for pitching. We've seen some incredible games and pitches, and it's a privilege to be a part of your journeys. Our mission is to get eyes on your games, and I'm over the moon to say that it's actually working. Secondly, I would just like to say a huge thank you to our official host Thom for putting this on at such short notice. We will do better, Thom, I promise. I also want to thank all the judges and to everyone at TeamPYG for helping shape #PitchYG to what it's fast becoming, a platform and community to give indie developers a voice to be heard. We have made some major changes to the awards, which will allow us to focus entirely on the overall pitch going forward into future rounds. Finally, I would like to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for watching, and to everyone in the industry for being so open to this exciting new initiative. That's everyone from investors, publishers, scouts, media. Your support means the world. To all indie developers out there, remember you might not think it, see or realise it, but people are looking. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam. So without further ado, let's get to the awards, huh? So our first award is for the most viral game. This is the game that received the most likes and retweets, the one that managed to work its way onto the screens of as many people as digitally possible, which, considering that our developers and the audience accounted for over 8,000 tweets, with an estimated reach of about 16.25 million screens, that is nothing to scoff at. The winner for most viral game goes to Cloud Jumper, submitted by Mr. Rob Madden. Now, not much says chill more than the scenic drive through the clouds, and that simple truth catapulted Cloud Jumper to the front of the pack with 1,578 likes and 295 retweets. This charming game about sailing through the skies flew off with the win. Now, the Pig Award is one that we came up with at TeamPYG to celebrate the member of our community who best represents what we are all about. The winner was helpful and encouraging throughout our Discord. They were there to laugh with us when things were good and a helping hand when things didn't quite work out. It is my distinct honor to give this award to an amazing human being, Mr. Nick Choa. Nick entered his game the way the world ends during last month's hashtag Pitch Your Game Black Lives Matter, and I was lucky enough to spend an hour talking with him about it. Since opening the Discord earlier in June, Nick, also known as Mr. Nixodemus1, has been one of the most active users and has been there to listen and help anyone who'd ask. Congratulations, Nick. Unfortunately, that's all of the easy awards out of the way. When picking the winners for the gold, silver, and bronze medals of Best Pitch, it wasn't as simple as just finding the best 3. No, there were over 800 pitches being looked at by our judges, all of whom were looking for different things, all of whom coming from different walks of life. It took some doing, a few days to be more precise, but they finally narrowed it down to 8 pitches. These are the 8 finalists. Don't mind my weird hand stuff. I put this together in a day. The first finalist found a way to blend millennial nostalgia with the idea that games don't need to be limited to the platform they were developed for. The team behind Melbit's Pod pitched a game with aspects of Pokemon and Tamagotchi built around exploration and play in the game world as well as the real world, with play in each world enabling fun and discovery in the other. Their goal, to take the game with you no matter where you are, so that something of where you were can join your game. Some of the greatest empires the world has ever seen have gone completely unnoticed by humanity. Day in and day out, they struggle through battles and wars, all without us noticing. Empires of the Undergrowth places you in control of one of those ant armies with the goal of controlling your own piece of that unseen world. Careful. Just because they're ants doesn't mean it'll be easy. As most of you can surely attest, managing a group of creative people working towards a single goal can be a difficult task under even the best of circumstances. But we're talking about making games here, so we know we won't be dealing with those. Game Director Story puts the player in the hot seat as the one in charge of making those decisions. Peppered with real stories from veteran developers, this game will gladly remind you that heavy is the head that wears the crown. There we are. The 3-dimensional world is a tough one, especially when you only have access to 2 of those dimensions at a time. Turning traditional side-scrollers on, their side, 2D and Top D delivers a hybrid experience between the classic top-down and side-scrolling games of the past. It's good to know that the best way to move forward is through cooperation, no matter which dimensions you inhabit. Language, one of our greatest accomplishments as a species, is also an imprecise tool. While Americans and Canadians might speak the same language, the nuances are different and can sometimes lead to some unexpected snags. Eloquence takes that a step further, asking the player to learn an entirely new language in order to solve the game's puzzles. Guess it's time I learned how to put a square word into a round sentence. Remember when we were younger and the world was full of mystery and wonder? That time before we discovered the tedium of spreadsheets and adulthood. Lost in Play does, and it reminds us as adults what that world of wonder used to be like. Just remember, when you're lost in a world of make-believe, the only way back home is to use your imagination. Planning and organizing towns is a tough job. I know. I've played SimCity. It looks even harder when you're dealt random hex tiles and you have to make them all fit together. Dorfromantic asks you to do that while also completing specific objectives. Guess it's time to put on those thinking caps, folks, because those towns aren't going to build themselves. Oop. I missed one because I did something stupid. Live internet show. Okay. Now, I've often thought about what it would be like to live in a fantasy world. Would I be a hero or an NPC, a spellcaster or a ranger? Not once did I ever think that I would be teamed up with a duckling. Thankfully, What the Duck has asked that exact question. Now, it's true, other people get paired with bigger, scarier, and tougher animals, but that's only because if ducks were any bigger, they'd be OP. Wink. Those are our 8 finalists. An eclectic and even strange group of games from across the spectrum, being made by developers from across the globe. Unfortunately, though, we only have 3 medals. So, this is, I imagine this is the part everybody's been waiting for. I didn't do a very good job of scripting this bit, so I'm just going to pad things here for a moment. So, we've got the bronze medal. And that bronze medal goes to Eloquence. It is a wonderful puzzle game built around a mechanic we have never really seen before. It captured the hearts of our judges and walks away with a wonderful bronze medal. Team Eloquence, thank you so much for your pitch. We look forward to seeing where this game goes in the future. As for the silver, well, that one is a little bit different. And Clawless Panda, it's not all in the script. There is a script, and it goes mostly like I'm saying. But the part that's unscripted is how I say the silver medal goes to Melbit's Pod. This is an amazing idea, one that blends real-world technology with video game technology. They've successfully been crowdfunded on Indiegogo with a plan to ship their first units later in the year. Of course, you can still go over to Indiegogo and find their campaign and make your purchases. But anything that takes the best parts of Pokemon Go and blends that with some of the better parts of collecting games and gets players, not just kids, not just their parents, but gets players out in the world and playing again is excellent. Congratulations to the team behind Melbit's Pod. Okay. Now the main event. The coveted gold medal for best pitch of the Pig Awards. Round 2. Hashtag pitch a game. The gold medal goes to Dorfromantic, a game that captured the imaginations of us all with its simple but lovely visuals and, quite frankly, a gameplay loop that I'm never going to master. But it's because of these ambitious projects that we get this opportunity to see something that's just grand and beautiful. So, congratulations, Team Dorfromantic. Now, it goes without saying, but all of your pitches were spectacular. And before we close things out, I have one last thing to say to every single entrant in hashtag pitch your game. I challenge you, not to a duel or a trivia contest or anything so boring as that. I challenge you to keep going, to keep pushing. I challenge you not to give up. You all put your games out into the world for people to see, and that takes a hell of a lot of courage. I challenge you to keep showing your game, to wear your pride for your project on your sleeve. If you keep doing that, you will find your audience. Okay, wishing on a Wendy, pistols at dawn. No, not really. Pistols are, not fair. But thank you, every one of you, for all of your pitches and your hard work. I can't wait to see what you come up with for our next round. And finally, to our audience, thank you for supporting these developers. Go find them online, wishlist their games, and show them why they do what they do. B Cubinary, Fry Candle, Punia Labs. Thank you for accepting my challenge. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Nova, awesome. Thank you for accepting the challenge. Everyone who is accepting it, I can't wait. Just make me fall in love with your games, because I'll be completely honest, I want to like every game that's out there. It's that simple. I love games. Everyone who's here loves games. So let's do it. Let's make games that we've never even seen before, with stories and themes that 20 years ago we couldn't even have dreamed of. We live in a spectacular time for independent game development where people are able to access super powerful tools and hardware, the likes of which those in my age bracket could never have dreamed of. Let's leverage that power and the creativity that comes with a lifetime of growing up playing the classics and make the next generation of indie classics that people are going to be talking about for generations. Thank you all so much for being here. It means the world to all of us at TeamPYG, and it means even more to everybody who put in a pitch for our Pitch Your Game contest. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. This is TeamPYG, signing out.